I'm attempting to travel across America by rail from the most southern train station to the most northern, and along the way, riding America's most unique, historical, and interesting trains this country has to offer. Now, there's only one way to know for sure if we're starting at the most southern train station.
And so we're gonna start right here, because it's the southernmost point in the continental USA, and because I drove 6 hours to get here. So let's head north and go find the most southern train. Now, so if we use Google Maps to search train, the nearest one is just 600 meters away. It should be right, there it is. That's not a train, that's not gonna get us to Alaska. All right, let's keep going north. Now the most southern station and the most southern train in America are right here. This old car was part of a Florida East Coast Railway, which was destroyed in a hurricane in 1935. They found it on its side, righted it, put it at this little old station. It's now a museum, which means it's not gonna take us anywhere, so we gotta keep going north.
And so a 3.5-hour drive brings us to Miami for the most southern, actually functioning train that you can ride in America. Well, sort of.
The Dadeland South Metro Rail Station. This is our first train of many on this trip. Alaska, here we come.
This is DownieLive, Travels by Train, America.
Well, there's our train. Now this should be the only metro that we take on this trip. The rest of them are full-size trains, but you gotta start somewhere. As expected, it's quite hot in Miami, and I'm kind of curious to know what the temperature is in Alaska right now.
Now, along this journey to the most northern train station in the USA, we will be riding on 10 of America's most unique trains. And each episode will have us unlocking one of them along the way. Because it's not about just getting to Alaska quickly, but seeing what America is all about and how trains made this country what it is.
So I'm sure you're wondering, why am I taking this trip? Well, because as we've seen recently, the world can change a lot really quickly. So I'm not waiting around anymore. I'm gonna check some items off my bucket list. And for me, Alaska is at the top of my bucket list, which I guess in this very specific sense would mean Miami is at the bottom, because we're going north. Forget it. Now, most would think to get further north to take Amtrak, but actually the most southern train station, like a proper train, is Brightline. That's a real rooster, right? Wow.
Now, Brightline is a relatively new private rail company that is improving train travel for commuters here in Florida with these new, bright and airy stations and regular frequent service. I mean, these tickets from Miami to Fort Lauderdale cost me just $10, and the trip will only take 30 minutes. But the most important change is regular service with 15 trains a day, while Amtrak only runs a train once a day. It's modern, clean, and stylish with well thought out features like a flip out for your phone. And so, we've just unlocked America's most southern train, taking us north to Fort Lauderdale.
All right, we're off. Alaska.
Welcome to Brightline.
Here we come.
Please take a moment.
Now, the big struggle for this trip will be to ensure that we stay on schedule and don't fall behind, because to get to Alaska, we're taking a ferry from Bellingham, Washington to Whittier, Alaska, which only runs once every 2 weeks. And so if we miss that ferry, well, we won't be making it to Alaska. But luckily, Brightline owns their own tracks, so I'm not worried about delays here. I'm worried about delays on Amtrak coming up.
Just listen to how quiet this is. This is the nicest train I've ever been on, I think. Now the irony in this is that this is America's newest train, but next week's episode is the oldest railroad in America.
Oh, thank you.
Got prosciutto wrapped mozzarella cheese. You don't get food like this on Amtrak or an airplane. Now to see how smooth this train is, we're gonna use my coffee to do the Jurassic Park test. I mean, that's pretty good. 79 miles an hour. It's a little fast. Okay, we're about to get off. Let's do a quick bathroom tour. Huge bathroom. Love it, clean, modern. This looks great. Wash your hands. Time to move on to the next train. Well, that was a quick ride on Brightline. Next, we have a long ride on Amtrak.
Oh my gosh, how cool is this? Brightline has free Tesla shuttles to get you to and from their station.
Thank you. Wow, car service.
But we're taking it to their competition.
Can you take me to Alaska?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Huh?
Yeah, all right.
All right, good day.
You too. See you again. Station's a little different here, isn't it?
And so I arrive at the Amtrak station, but the door is locked. We'll be waiting outside for the next 45 minutes until someone from Amtrak comes to let us in. I mean, this is so different from Brightline, which has stations open all day from 6 a.m. to midnight. Luckily, it's a perfect Florida day.
That's like the smallest little train station clock I've ever seen. If you've watched my Amtrak adventures before, we'll see if this train arrives on time.
Because we need to make our connection in Washington, D.C. Now, I'd like to take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, True Earth. Now, I've often talked about their great laundry eco strips. But what do you do with your laundry before you put them in the laundry? You know, when you come back from a trip and you have to unpack and put your laundry somewhere. Well, they now have a solution for that. The True Earth laundry hamper. What I like most is that the hamper comes in a large laundry bag, which I use while I'm out on the road traveling. It's 100% cotton, has rope handles, and uses wooden dowels to support itself. It has zero plastic, folds flat for easy shipping, so it has a smaller carbon footprint, and then you just quickly put it together when you get it. You slide the 4 dowels down the 4 sleeves, and just like that, your hamper's ready to go. And there you go. And if it ever does get a little bit stinky, you can always use your True Earth eco strips and hand wash it in cold water, and it's good to go again. And so, if you want to get one for yourself, you can use my discount. Click the link in the description under the video and use discount code DOWNIE for 10% off and enjoy your new hamper. It's not us, it's the Tri-Rail. I think we're next. And here comes our ride. The Amtrak Silver Star taking us from Fort Lauderdale to Washington, D.C.
Here we go, leaving the sun of Miami, headed to Alaska. Am I the only passenger boarding our car at the stop? All right. So this is my first time on a Viewliner roomette. I've been on the Superliner roomettes before, but look at this. Oh, the natural light in here is amazing. 2 levels of windows. Bunk bed up here is going to slide down, I believe. Seat for me, seat for a guest. Lights, vent. Get your own toilet. Just remember to close the curtains, and your own sink. Ah, it's a folding sink, so when you use it, there's no drain at the bottom. The drain is back there, so when you tilt it, all the water goes down the back. Pretty clever. Oh, perfect storage spot there. Bunk looks thin, but cozy.
All right, here we go. Now, if all goes to plan, we should arrive in Washington, D.C. in about 27 hours to catch our next train. This train trip will take about 27 hours, if it's on time, and it cost me about $600 for a roomette.
And normally I like to go explore a little bit around the train, go to the observation car. There isn't one on this trip. Normally I would eat in the dining car, but also this is our 3rd trip of the day, our 3rd train of the day. Figure we'll just get settled for a bit. And there we have it. Now we ordered the enchiladas. They're known as Amtrak's vegan and healthy option. Let's give them a try. It's made with plant-based protein, beans and corn and cheese, and it's good. It's so green. I have to say, I'm impressed. Amtrak is whipping along just as fast as Brightline here. It's 78 miles an hour. Farm, orchards of some sort. Oranges? Oranges.
Hey, nothing to see here, just taking a nap. Oh, come on, like you've never napped. Fine, I'll get up. We're arriving in our next city anyways.
This is a grumpy car. We're just arriving in Tampa. They call it a smoke break, I call it a fresh air break. Thank you. Tampa Bay, Florida. One thing I like about riding by trains is you get to see parts of the country, well, that I've never seen before. Bonus is, you don't have to worry about parking when you get here. I'm in the vlog. You're in the vlog.
And this is an unexpected turn of events. A little Florida afternoon rain to wake us up after that nap. There's something so peaceful about getting on a train in the rain. Hey, that rhymed.
Thanks, Tampa. See you another time.
And that means it's dinner time.
Dining car, and this is 3 cars up from our room today. Oh, this is nice. So I ordered in my room. They gave me a little ticket with my room number and stuff. Brought it here. He had my order ready, handed it to me, sat down on the table. Just kidding. Comes with a heated roll, raised beef short rib, green beans, carrots, mashed potatoes, brownie for dessert. I think that brownie is the best dessert I've had on any Amtrak trip. This is delicious. Now we have about 15 minutes to Orlando. Wow. I like just peeking into the stations. Some of them are so historic. It's a nice station. Stretch my legs. That's it. I think it's time to start getting ready for bed. What I've opted to do is the little mattress that's supposed to go down on top of the chairs for the bottom bunk, I'm gonna keep it on top so I get double comfort. All right. Getting to bed early because the time zone changed, but I'm really excited about this adventure. So I think with that, we'll see you in the morning.
And day 2 of our trip is off to a good start.
1,
good night's sleep later, and we're just crossing into North Carolina. I've never been to the Carolinas before, and I feel bad that I slept through South Carolina. Trust me, I needed it. I was jet lagged. Let's get today started. We have about 6 hours left on this train, or as you call it while you're on the train, 2 meals left. The reason I say that is there's nothing to do on the train except for wait and eat. 3 egg omelet with sausages and potatoes with a Greek yogurt. Now I think we just kick back and relax. One of my favorite things about riding the train is the different scenery. I'm from the Pacific Northwest with big, dark green trees, and this is like more lush forests. That's actually one of the things I'm really looking forward to on this trip across America is the vastly differing landscapes that I'll see as we make our way across. Got some rail fans up there. Now there's not much else to do but spend the morning right here, watching the changing scenery pass by from, well, the comfort of this reclined seat. We've arrived in Petersburg, Virginia, and I'll be honest, I brought the blanket down, reclined both chairs, got the pillow out, and I am loving it. People always talk about first class on airplanes and like the lay flat pods. You've got that here. And so Virginia makes this our 4th state, and I am in a state of comfort. Whoa, this is a big bridge. This is a big river. That was the James River as we're entering Richmond, Virginia now. This is, wow, there's a farmer's market. I'm just lying in bed. Oh, that's cool. Wow, it's a whole thing out here. This is typical Virginia, isn't it? Brick buildings and perfectly manicured lawns. All from the comfort of my Amtrak roomette. What's next? Wow, look at that. Lunchtime, all right. So today I ordered the last item on our list, the chicken a la rosa. It looks like this. I have to say, most of the food on Amtrak, well, the other routes are okay, but this one was kind of like airplane food. But this brownie, if you're ever coming on the train, I recommend this brownie. As my dad would say, this is so good, there's no way it's good for you. Which I think is obvious because it's a brownie. What can I say? Downies like brownies. All right. We're getting close. Time to start packing up. Now, I haven't checked my phone since yesterday, but I'm very curious to know if our train is still on time or if we're delayed. Looks like our trip is delayed by 1 hour and 45 minutes. So we'll see if I make my next train. This could be a theme for this trip, which is difficult because the way we're getting to Alaska only runs once every 2 weeks. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. See ya. Let's see if we can catch our next train. We missed it. The next one to Philadelphia is tomorrow morning. Let's get a hotel. Wow, this is an amazing station. Looks like we'll be back tomorrow morning. Wow, even the outside is amazing. I already know this is a sign of things to come. Things aren't gonna go as planned on this trip, but that's kind of what it's about. It's seeing places, not being on time. So subscribe, because, well, for one, it's free. And also, let's face it, you can always unsubscribe later, so there's no risk. And 3, because I'm excited to see 10 of the most iconic trains in America. So while I catch some shut-eye, I'll leave you to watch the trailer for season 2 of DownieLive Travels by Train. This series will bring us across the country, riding on some of the most historic, iconic, and just straight up interesting trains this country has to offer as I head to Alaska. These 10 trains will have us seeing corners of the country we would never otherwise see. And lucky for you and I won't be alone. I'm helping my friend Will to check off some trains from his bucket list, as well as taking the train with my mom to go off-roading in Utah. It's incredible what something as simple as a train can do for a person, or even a whole country. Subscribe now so you don't miss an episode of DownieLive Travels by Train, America. Oh, that looks like a good season. All right, let's head on to the fastest train in America and keep this trip moving. Now, I know we're heading on this big adventure to Alaska. This is probably the least adventurous train we could take. It's an urban commuter train, and we're in business class. It kind of felt like one of those things, we had to try it. This feels a lot like an airplane. All right, on our way to America's oldest train on America's fastest.
This is the last time I will be alone on this trip. It's a big trip across America, so I've called in my good friends from all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby.
Good
to see you again.
Now, my friend Bobby here is a professional TV and radio commentator and host, now with his own YouTube channel too, so he might help a little with some of the voiceover on this series.
All right, off now, Bobby. Will you leave us with a voiceover? Tell us where we're headed?
No, I don't do voiceovers.
Are you kidding? My job is to talk. So here's what you need to know, folks. Our friend Harvey is catching a train to meet us here, and the three of us are going on a road trip that Mike has planned. I don't really know where we're going, but what I do know is that we're going to ride on the oldest railroad in America, except he's booked us in a caboose for the night, and at some point we end up in an Amish buggy? I'm starting to wonder how I let Mike convince me to come on this trip in the first place. I guess we'll find out if it's worth it next week on DownieLive Travels by Train.